A terrorist goes to Home Depot, rents a truck, and drives the wrong way on a path of cyclists, killing at least 8 people in New York City. This is the new face of terrorism. You don't need guns. You don't need chemical weapons. You don't need large explosives. We've been talking about this literally for years. All you need is a force multiplier, something that turns one man into many. A vehicle is a prime example of a force multiplier. It can take one person and give them the strength, the speed, and the destruction of multiples of people. This is literally the new face of terror. This is what we will see continuing to happen in the first world, where access to chemical pesticides, bomb-making materials, and high-capacity weapons are becoming less and less and more regulated. So instead, terrorists will turn towards other methods of destruction. Curbing access to weapons, curbing access to chemicals, that won't stop terrorism. These are evil people. They have evil in their hearts. They want to do harm to others, and nothing will stop that. And so they gravitate towards ideologies that facilitate that type of action, where you can be pitted against another type of people, where you can be driven to harm people who don't have the same beliefs as you, the same values as you. This is the world that we live in, and we have to prepare for this. So I want to talk to everybody here about being aware of your surroundings. These people were just riding their bicycle down a path that maybe they had done hundreds of times before. And you become so accustomed and so used to that nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going wrong. It's a normal day. You lose sight of your surroundings, and then this type of event can take place. It doesn't matter where you're at. You might be in a mall, the same mall that you've been to with your family hundreds of times. You might be in your shopping center, picking up groceries, the same thing that you've done dozens of times. You might be getting ready to go to work. You might be at your workplace. No matter where you're at, this type of event can take place. But do not live in fear. The news lets us see these 8 people that were killed, maybe dozens that were injured. But we don't see the people. No one talks about the people who got out of the way. Those people aren't remembered. But people do get out of the way. People do see what's going on. In every car attack, every large-scale attack that we have seen in the last 2 to 3 years, we have went and researched, and people aware of their surroundings see what's happening and move away. Same thing happened in Las Vegas with that terror attack. People saw what was happening, and rather than dropping to the ground and remaining a still target, they moved. Be aware of your surroundings. Everywhere that you go. Don't live in fear. This isn't a fearful thing. This is just a reality of life. People say, I can't even think about that kind of thing, like being situationally aware, because then you're living in fear. No, you're not. You don't put your seatbelt on because you're living in fear of a fatal car accident. You put your seatbelt on because it will help save your life in the event of a car accident. You don't not smoke 10 packs a day because you live in fear of lung cancer. You don't do that because you don't want to get the repercussion of what will happen if you do that. This isn't living in fear. Being situationally aware is just a matter of knowing your surroundings and not being a victim. They will take away the guns of the American people, and they will do it slowly, because otherwise that well-armed militia that is in the Constitution of the United States will rise up against tyranny. So it'll be done slowly. They will take away all access to volatile explosives. Many of those things have already happened, but other things like chlorine, things like that. They will limit access to those things, but they won't be able to limit access to vehicles. So this type of event will continue to take place. The most ignorant part is that it's easier to rent a car and plow through a group of people than it is to shoot people with a firearm. It's easier than it is to create an explosive and harm a group of people. It is easier in our world to take a force multiplier like a vehicle and run it through people. And that's very dangerous. That's something that you and I need to be aware of as we walk our children to the store, as we facilitate our day-to-day goings-on. Please, think about this type of thing. Don't get lulled into the false sense of security that is not going to happen here. Today's attack is proof that it is happening here, and this will continue. From Kelly and I to you and yours, as always, stay safe and keep watch.